Let's talk about Love is Blind Season 8. So I actually filmed a long form video that you guys will see on YouTube tomorrow morning. I will say more about that at the end of this video, but my very initial thoughts on this season, it is a mess. I agree with everyone on here that's saying that it's really boring, it's completely lacking in diversity. I was very shocked that the black couple was the only couple that we got. Like, we got nothing, no sort of flavor, no sort of spice. But anyway, this is Minnesota, let's suffer. Dave, Molly, and Lauren. I think Dave is evil. I will say that off the top. Dave, it is surprising to me that he has so many opinions about women's bodies and like looks, considering that he looks like that. Not in like a shady way, because like in New York, that's just like any man, right? He's not like exceptionally handsome or exceptionally attractive. He's just like some guy. But he in Minnesota is apparently like the king of the walk, because he is talking to these women crazy. What's wrong with you? You're 30, you're used up. Like the way that these women sort of have to accept the negging to continue in the relationship, which I say that because I think that he was very strategic with the women that he ended up with. I think both Molly and Lauren are insecure. Molly, I feel bad. Is she the one that's never had the boyfriend? Her sort of participating in being another woman and being a side chick because she like thought that she could get a guy to change for her. The fact that she is such a cool girl in every single conversation, she will go along with anything that he says to just like be chosen, is very sad to see. And I hope that she, watching herself back, sort of gets some sense of self from like, okay, I shouldn't just like be going with the flow of every single thing a terrible man says to me. I think Lauren is deeply insecure. I said it in the first episode, and then in the second episode, she said, I'm an overthinking girly, and she assumed that Molly was like saying that she was dating Dave in front of her to hurt her feelings, which is something that like deeply insecure people do. I said this about Chelsea a couple of seasons ago. They will like weaponize their insecurity. So instead of it being her issue that she felt some type of way that Molly was like talking about dating her guy, right? Because they're all in the same pod. She's like making it everyone else's issue. She's not owning it as her own issue, like dealing with her insecurity, dealing with her anxiety. She's sort of blasting it out. So now it's everybody's problem that she is insecure. Also, they look like brother and sister. They have the same face. This is a mess. This whole thing. I'm glad that I went long on it because I don't think that I could do it in just like a very short video. But like very high level. Alex weaponizes his anxious attachment. He punishes other people when they don't live up to his expectations by shutting down emotionally, right? So you could see it when Madison told him, I'm anxiously or I'm avoidant. He immediately, the energy shifted. He was like, I don't like that, right? Their final conversation, it was very much, I don't like that. This is over. I don't think that we're in a place of like getting engaged, getting married. He is using his anxious attachment to punish other people for not being exactly what they need him to be instead of working on his own attachment issues, which some would say is like the smart thing to like not involve yourself in a messy situation because you know that you're going to be triggered by it. But other people would say that there's a lot more healing to be done because whenever he sort of sees someone doing something that he doesn't like, he immediately is like, okay, that's it. It's cut. Every season of Love is Blind has a female villain or a woman that is like deemed a Jezebel and a harpy by the fandom. A couple of seasons ago, it was Johnny. Last season, it was the girl who was terrorizing Nick. This season, it is apparently Madison. Everyone is saying that she's like a manipulative, like snake charmer, and she's a seductress, and she's so evil. I think that she's a deeply traumatized girl who like maybe fucked up a little bit. Like, she's not perfect. It's very surprising. I want to see everyone who gets on here and is like, I never make any mistakes. I'm absolutely perfect in the way that I handle all of my relationships. I don't believe you. I think that I do stand with Madison because I see myself a little bit in her. I'm also an avoidant. I also have addiction in my family, so I sort of can see the sort of sense of self-sufficiency when you say, I have to do everything myself. I can't count on other people. And when other people disappoint me, I'm going to cut them off. That's real as fuck. Like, I'm sorry. Her, I will say, the manipulative thing, she should not have gone back and told Meg what Mason was saying. Like, I do think that she fucked up Meg's chances, right? And like, Meg saying, I don't want to be anyone's number two. I stand with her. That was smart of her and good of her. That's the only thing that's smart and good of her. I do not rock with MAGA Meg and miss her Joe Rogan experience. Her, like, I'm so cool and so quirky. I think both of them are Manic Pixie Dream Girls. I think Molly's a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. I think that there is a plague in Minnesota, apparently, of, like, a lot of people who are like, I'm so cool and so quirky to, like, be chosen by other people. I don't have a lot to say about Mason except that it's very weird that his favorite movie is Her, but I will say my favorite part of that movie is Rooney Mara dragging Joaquin Phoenix, being like, you are a fucking freak. And number two, when he asked Scarlett Johansson how many other people she's talking to, and she's like, 81,722, that was iconic. I screamed in the theater. I'm really sad that we're not getting more of Brittany. She is so beautiful. Like, she came on the screen and I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. I love her. I wanted so much more of her. I stand with her in breaking up with Devin because he wasn't able to handle her bisexuality. I will say it's a little bit messy. I know that this is like bisexual business or lesbian business, whatever. It's a little bit messy of her being like, I would never marry a woman though. Like, I think people are going to be really mad at her for that. I think Virginia is beautiful. It's a little weird that she's like going around telling people she's a doctor. She has a PhD. Like, yes, you are technically a doctor, but like at first I was like, oh my God, she's a doctor. And then she talked more about it and I was like, oh. I do not believe that Devin was addicted to ibuprofen. I do not think you can get addicted to ibuprofen. But I think that they have a strong relationship based on faith. They're obviously very religious. They're obviously like, they want to pray together. They want to go to church together. They are very happy when they meet. I think he was a lot happier than her, but she didn't seem like not into it. I'm curious to see if they will hook up on the honeymoon. Daniel and Taylor, I don't know if he stalked her. I'm sorry. Even in my long video, I said it. I don't know. It's obviously a cliffhanger for a reason. Everyone is saying, oh my God, like women's intuition, blah, blah, blah. But like, we have no way of knowing, so I can't really speak to the storyline. I don't know anything about either one of them, except that he's very insecure about being short and she loves Christmas and Taco Bell. Like, these aren't necessarily the most individualized personality traits of all time. I don't have a lot to say about them either. In my long video, I talked about his savior complex. I think it's a little weird that his whole thing is to like swoop in and save people. I think it aligns nicely with her thing of like, oh, I quit my job to like take care of my grandma. That's very nice. And I think that they are matched in that sense. They have absolutely no sexual chemistry. I saw them. There's nothing there. Finally, I agree with everyone on this app who has been saying it. It is a little bit performative of her to be like, I stand with my queer sister and I stand with Black Lives Matter and still get engaged to Ben. Like, sister, it's not giving. I knew that Ben was evil as soon as he said those people and that community. I said, wait, say what you want to say. And also, I don't believe that a white man that lives in Minnesota has absolutely no opinion on Black Lives Matter. There's just absolutely no way. These two will not make it and he is evil. And I will post again tomorrow, but video on YouTube, audio on Spotify.